The Superman myth is a story about greatness and wish fulfillment. All superhero legends are based on this concept. Superman is the sun that all the others revolve around. The story is a representation of an alien being who comes to Earth and just so happens to blend in among humans whilst using his unique abilities not to rise above us, but to help us. He cannot be a god because gods are dictators who set rules for others to follow. Superman sets rules for himself and uses those rules for our benefit. If America has a legend comparable to the ageless myths of antiquity, there is Superman.
I love Superman, there's no doubting that if you're a regular to this channel. Now, like Alan Moore, I know him to be our modern myth, the hero of heroes. So that's got me thinking about Gunn's Superman movie next year, Superman Legacy. I think Gunn's Superman film has the potential to be great, but what will make it great? What makes for a great Superman movie? Heck, what makes Superman great? I think in understanding this, we can forecast the direction Gunn will take Superman, steering clear of some mishaps told in past Superman movies. Yes, I said mishaps. I think Snyder's depiction of Superman was some serious backtracking for the character, a director that doesn't understand the dream of Superman, the ideal.
But you're living in a fucking dream world.
Good. Dreams save us.
This is everything Alan Moore feared. Snyder deified Superman, took the humanity out of the character, turned him into a god that was above those he saved. The focus was on his feats, not on the people that he was saving. Now, I won't completely dismiss Snyder's take on Superman. I think there's a lot of interesting religious commentary there, not just through his imagery, but his ideas. However, I think this speaks to a larger problem he had with his heroes. DC heroes aren't meant to be gods. They are not great because of their feats, they're great because of their humanity. They are not humans looking to achieve greatness, they search for their greatness in being human. Taking a step back now, you can see why Snyder's DC universe just never clicked. He wanted to deify these heroes, make them the modern day gods. But Superman and the rest of the Justice League work best when they display their essential humanity, not when they're posing in semi-religious stances. For a moment, I'd like to bring your attention to the early 2000s, specifically to the original Justice League show. A show that, in my opinion, understood these heroes better than any other incarnation. If you take a second and think about your favourite moments from these heroes, it's likely in their most human hour. Batman sitting with a girl destined to die. The Flash talking with his rogues, not looking to pick a fight, but just to chat. Aquaman making the choice to put a baby before his own body. The list goes on and on. What the show got right is that it made sure it displayed these heroes' essential humanity. Heck, that's the whole reason Green Arrow is brought onto the show.
Still don't think I belong up here.
That's the point. Someone like you will keep us honest.
So, if a series 20 years ago can nail the heroes of DC, why can't we now?
And I was like, dude, I just went into Warner Brothers and told them their script for Superman sucked.
Well, I think we can. I think Gunn is the man for the job. Routinely, Gunn has told stories about outcasts, outliers, exceptional people doing great things, but at its core, finding the heart, the humanity, the story in the chaos of the action and the adventure. Finding this beating heart is going to be what makes Superman Legacy live or die. So, what is it? What is the core idea behind a good Superman movie? What is that beating heart I was just talking about? Well, Superman is an aspirational hero. He's meant to inspire through his optimism and selflessness. I guess you could say this is Superman's legacy, an example of optimism, an aspiration of what a great man can do with great power. Now, as we know, a hero is only as great as his villain, and that's why Lex will always make the perfect antithesis to Superman. A cynic that opposes that optimism, selfishness to oppose that selflessness, a man that wants to show the world he is a god, rather than a god that wants to show the world he is a man. Fitting then that Gunn has found his Lex in Nicholas Hoult, a Lex I'm really excited to see, and whilst we're on casting, it looks like the rest of the cast is great too, each embodying the essence of these characters.
Promise me this. He'll have gravitas, or he's gonna be something that's grounded and real. I know you, I'm sure that's
Everything's
the case.
grounded and real. Yeah.
But to stay on track, if we can double down on that idea of cynicism and optimism, we'll have a great movie on our hands. I for one think it's no mistake that the movie is called Superman Legacy. Now people often associate one's legacy with their death, we talk about legacy after one has passed, but I think a movie that explores Superman's legacy, not through the way he dies, but the way he lives is incredibly refreshing.
I'm not worthy.
Draga, the real test of honor isn't how you die, it's how you live.
So, what will make for a good Superman movie? What will it look like? Well, I've tackled that before on the channel. The specifics I don't think are worth getting into. I don't want to repeat myself, but fundamentally, I just want the truth of the characters to shine through. A story with a point, characters with a purpose, a hero that inspires, and seeing those around him become better people for it.
Who are you?
A friend.
Superman is meant to inspire through his example, so it'd be nice to see that. Now that makes me think, why is Superman great? What makes a great man to begin with? Well, that's quite a nebulous discussion, but I'd like to think a great man is someone who can be tempted with pleasure but instead choose purpose. Someone who could abuse their strength and their power, but doesn't.
You could have built a new Krypton in this squalor.
I don't have any right to impose my will over...
Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor of Rome, writer of meditations and ruler during the Pax Romana, the Roman peace, was the most powerful man in the world. He could have had anything he wanted, impose his will on the world, have any woman bath in his riches, eat, drink. He could sentence anyone to exile or put anyone to death simply because he could. And yet, he chose the life of virtue. He chose to live a life in accordance with a term he would later become most known for, Stoicism.
Stoicism takes the position that the wise man, the good man, the philosopher, is a man who lives in accordance with nature. He fears only abdicating his moral responsibility.
It's a never-ending battle, but we can't quit.
The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing.
He is not afraid of pain. He is not afraid of death. He is not afraid of any of the vicissitudes of the human condition. He fears only that he should let himself down and that he should be less than a complete human being.
That's just because he's always set such a high standard. I'm gonna cut him a break. He's only human.
The only matter of concern to a wise and philosophic individual is the things completely under your control.
You will never control me, Luthor.
Just like Alan Moore said, Superman makes rules for himself and uses those rules to benefit others without the expectation others will follow those same rules. He doesn't make rules for the world. He doesn't impose his will on the world.
Who made you God?
You will bow down before me!
You don't really know these worlds. You only know your safe, bottled versions of them.
He cannot be a god because gods are dictators who set rules for others to follow.
But here, I am God.
You can't control other people.
You should not exist outside my control.
You can't control the society around you.
I control everything in this town, Superman.
To be great, you must hold yourself to a standard, but understand that those that do not want to be great will not.
If it had mattered to you, Luthor, you could have saved the world years ago.
Just because we're doing good doesn't mean the world will. So be understanding.
I'm too weak to fight anymore. You're stronger than you know, Mr. Ackerson.
Know that there will be evil in the world, sometimes out of ignorance, but that virtue is found in patience.
I feel like I live in a world made of cardboard, always taking constant care not to break something, to break someone.
There's only one thing, and one thing only, that you are in control of, and that is you. Your will, your intentions, yourself. In other words, the wise man, the truly philosophical man, is the man who is entirely in control of his own soul, who takes utter and complete moral responsibility for his actions.
I'm tired, but I still have one more job to do.
The Stoic philosopher is the man who has liberated himself from fear. He's not afraid of death. He's not afraid of pain. He's not afraid of other people's dismissal as a fool.
Watch your step, you clumsy ox!
The only thing he cares about is that he should meet his moral obligations.
I won't let you down again.
Superman is the closest thing humanity has come to Marcus Aurelius, and he's fictional. However, they both share a similar experience: loneliness. Now, being the most powerful men in the world would do that. Think about it for a moment. From their perspective, no one could relate to your experience. No one could share your strength, be your equal, know what you know. To be the 1%, to be great, you must do something the other 99% aren't doing. But these men are the 1% of the 1%. They're not just outliers, they're outcasts. Nonetheless, what does this mean for Superman Legacy? Well, it's convenient that we have a writer-director attached to helm this movie that specializes in outcasts. one that takes unique people with unique experiences and finds the beating heart in their story.
Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us.
I think there's a reason James Gunn felt so attached to his script for Superman Legacy that he had to direct it.
You love the script.
I love the script, and people love the script, and so I feel great about the script.
I think we're going to tell the tale of an outlier, of a man so good, so great he inspires everyone around him, a character that carves his own values, a character so kind that he can't relate to a cynical world. I think Gunn is just going to have a field day with Superman. He practiced with Adam Warlock, but I think we're ready to tell the tale of arguably the greatest outcast, the greatest outlier to ever live, and goddamn am I ready to see it. Yo, what's going on guys? That is the video. I am eternally grateful that you guys have stuck all the way through to the end of the video. As we know, these videos do not get to happen without my Patreon followers, specifically my Illuminati tribe: Daniel, Christos, Julian, David, Draco, Alexis, Lance, Holland, Carson, Brady, Ziggy, Unlucky Dreamer, Emrin, Cam, and Archie. You guys are the ones that allow me to make videos, period. I know everyone wants to know what's the update with the X-Men video. If you don't know, I'm making an X-Men 2. So yeah, the script is locked in. Initially, I liked where the story was going, and then I watched X-Men 97 and wow, I needed to up my game. That show is so damn good, man. That is quintessential X-Men right there. If you haven't seen the show, go watch it. But with that being said, the now revised X-Men 2 is being worked on. I'm so excited to get back into the flow of making videos again. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, but yeah, thanks guys. I will see you in the next one. Ciao.